There's a couple of those things we have to correct also, Bobby, in the first couple of chapters.
That's right.
You got that captain having four regiments. He had four platoons.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I've discovered
It's just stuff like that, you know.
that stuff's starting to improve with me. I'm getting ready. I'm at the point now where I understand these delineations,
Yeah.
like third box.
But
Oh, good, you've got all that with you.
no, it's no big thing really, but
Well, that's part of the editing.
yeah, sure. But we get that later. Let me see.
Captain Smith, wasn't that his name?
No, there's I think his name was Cook, wasn't it?
Maybe it's Cook. I probably got that wrong too.
Yeah. No, whatever you had, that was right.
What was platoon size? 43 men?
About 42. Then what is known as T-O-N-E, and there's table, and that's what it was. It was 42 at the time, you know.
And I would put a stand. That number
Right.
went down lower when you got to Vietnam, right?
Right.
Okay.
Anyway, I made the corrections. We'll get to it later.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, just.
Well, don't confuse your copy with my copy.
Oh, I'm not. Oh, I don't. This is your copy, yeah, I believe.
Yeah, in the blue.
Yeah, I believe this is your copy.
Okay. Well, then
You need it back, don't you?
Yes, sir. We'll get
Yeah.
to the editing.
Mine's in. Mine's either Brenda or Beverly. One of them's got them proofreading it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have it back Monday.
That's fine.
Matter of fact, Beverly's got it because she just took about 30 minutes before we got here
Oh, really?
to read it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's fine. All right. This is the question and answer part. And this is the full scope of my understanding
Right.
of your first year. You're in Japan at Hokkaido. Does that sound correct?
I don't know where I was, Bobby. I left the States on a ship, troop ship, and we landed in Japan. They immediately assigned me to a unit,
Right.
which was part of the 7th Division.
Right.
So I don't remember where we hit in Japan, but I can tell you it wasn't that too long.
Well, if you were in Tokyo, you'd know it.
Yeah, a couple, yeah.
Well,
I
Hokkaido
was
was
only-
the other option,
yeah.
and that's
I
where
was
they
in
trained the
this-
polar bears.
Yeah, just a couple days or so. That's it.
Okay, well, let's keep the yeses
Right.
and nos as simple as possible. From there, you're with 230 some odd ships going into Incheon.
Right.
At Incheon, they had 3 beaches, a red, a blue, and there's one story that says there's a yellow beach. You're not part of the fighting at Incheon when you land. The Marines are taking care of that part.
Right.
You land and go with the 2nd Battalion, 3rd Infantry down to Suwon.
It was 2nd Battalion, 31st Infantry.
And
E
you
Company.
were E Company.
Yeah, E Company, 2nd Battalion, 31st Infantry, and where we landed, I'm not sure. I just know we landed.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Well, you landed. They moved you about 8 to 12 miles south of
Right.
Kimpo, and then you go into Suwon airstrip. You take that. I
Right.
have records of bazooka attacks on tanks. Do you have any recall of shooting a tank out? You all took out about 14
I
tanks.
recall shooting at a tank using a 2.36 rocket launcher, and I remember shooting at it, and I can remember hitting it one time, and it bouncing off. It didn't stop it.
Okay. Well,
And
you
then-
all took out 14 tanks at that
Yeah.
location.
Yeah, I'd say they was taken out by maybe a 57 recordless rifle or something, because that little bazooka just it would take a tank out, but you had to hit it in the tracks.
Yeah, well, you weren't the only one shooting the bazooka that
Right?
day.
Yeah, you had to hit them in the tracks. You hit them any place up the tracks, you wouldn't stop it. It wouldn't penetrate the armor.
Right, okay. From there, you used marching, trucks, train, whatever you could, and went down back to Busan.
Right?
You never actually officially went up into Seoul.
No.
Okay.
We was heading that direction, but we not.
But you got rerouted.
Right.
Okay, back across the Han. Well, I
Right.
didn't think you crossed the Han. You were already south of it. So you head down to Pusan and you kind of do a little R&R and they replenish the troops, right? And you're
We got some replacements, yes.
okay, so you're with the 2nd Battalion, 31st.
Right.
You all take off from Pusan, and on the eastern coast, Almond decides that the Marines should land south of your location of E1,
Yeah, that was the second invasion, yeah.
and you all land 100 miles north of that at E1. And you get off the board. I've got pictures of your all's landing
Yeah, and
from that
E1,
location.
yeah.
A guy named Rassler, who helped with your training in Japan, had
Right.
taken photos of that. From there, and my understanding is you're with McLean. You say you head up north to the Yalu. I'm putting you at a schoolhouse called, a little town called Unatek. That ring a bell?
No, we stopped several times, you know,
Right.
and we could have been there.
Well, the reason why I bring that up is because when you say you have this meeting with Patton, the RCT 31 command post,
MacArthur.
with MacArthur, I'm sorry, the RCT 31 command post is a little place called Unatek, and it's just south of Heisen Gym, which is on the Yalu,
Right.
which you say you meet. Now, everybody moves from that location to the east side of Fusion Reservoir, and the 2nd Battalion comes down into Ham Hung.
Ham hung, yeah.
There's
You
a-
have, you have a hung dam, then you have a ham hung.
Right, coming up
Right.
coming up north. All right. So somehow in that confusion area, that tank command goes up. You're all told on the 22nd, on the 27th, to hold at Ham Hung. That's what it tells the 2nd Battalion is
Right.
to hold there. So I'm confused about the actual where you meet Colonel Faith.
Well, but Colonel Faith, they, if I remember, they formed from what was left, they formed a command of 31st Infantry, and Faith took over, okay, as commander, and our mission was to go up there and open up a route so other elements could withdraw. That was after, from Home Nam we went up, and this is when we get up to the Yellow River, up to close to the Frozen Chosen, okay, and that's when Faith was in charge.
So you
If
make
you read it, yeah, that's what we went. We went all the way up.
all right, do you recall going through a town called Udon?
Bobby, I don't remember the name
Okay,
of the damn
that's fine.
Koreans.
But the tanks of the 31st, they're held back.
We're a tank company, yeah.
But you all kept on going.
We kept going, right.
So about the 29th, you're up there at the reservoir.
We were up, right. We were up there for Thanksgiving, whatever day, Thanksgiving.
That was a week before.
Right.
That was a week before. That's when
Okay.
MacArthur meets you.
I met MacArthur when we was getting ready to eat Thanksgiving dinner.
Right. That's on like
Okay.
the 23rd.
Right.
We're now talking about the 27th. This is the
Okay,
week
that was
later.
afterwards. Okay.
All right, so you're actually, for some reason, E Company 31st, 2nd Battalion, ends up with
Right.
Faith.
With Faith, we sure did.
Right. There's no record of that whatsoever that I can find. And I'm not saying it didn't happen. Don't argue.
Yeah.
Don't believe me on that. So I say that. So
Yeah.
all of that stuff happens up there.
Right.
When you see Faith, does he have a chest wound or a leg wound?
When I saw him, I thought he had a arm chest wound,
Chest wound.
arm wound.
Okay. He's about.
That's why it was bloody and everything. I didn't talk to him about his wound.
Right. He's 100 yards off of Hill 1221
Right.
at that point.
He's the one that issued the order to get back,
Right.
you know, on the ice, however you could do it.
And he sent
And I don't
several
know if
people
you
out.
did you
I've
find
got all that.
you got that? Okay.
Got all that.
He's the one that issued the order.
So you come back through Ham Hung, end up at Hoggaroo. Oh, I'm sorry. You come back through the east side. You're at Hoggaroo,
Right.
right? You come through the perimeter that night on like 3 nights and 4
Right.
days. Okay. Everybody at Hoggaroo, some are flown out, most are marched out. I assume you didn't fly out, so you marched through.
Marched through and went up by ship.
Right, all the way back through
All the way.
Hellfire, Mahjong and Ham Hung. You went through all of that.
All the way back,
All
right.
the way back. When you get back on the ship, they bring you back to Pusan. I assume the 131st is now done. There's no more 131st. Is that correct?
No.
All right.
31st, we got back and and we got it, they call it a rest defensive position,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And we got additional replacements in,
Right.
then we moved back.
So, but you moved back to the Pusan perimeter area.
Right, moved to,
Right. And you're there.
we were taken back by ship and that back there. That's how we got back. They loaded us on the big ships, you know, troop carrier,
Right.
and we went around and got back to the Pusan perimeter.
Okay, so when you're at Pusan, you're there for the second winter. Does that sound right? Because your paperwork says you are.
Okay, 1950, and then we went through the. So, yeah, I was over in 1951 to December 1951.
And you were working the Pusan perimeter for the rest of your
We
tour.
were moving right.
Okay. That's been a drama.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
31st Infantry stayed right over there, and I believe between me and you, Bobby, I think they're still there.
Yeah,
7th Division, 31st Infantry, still in Korea.
that surprised me.
Over 50 years ago, they're still there.
That's unbelievable. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, I think someone made a comment about
Right.
the 26th has never been on.
No, 31st.
The 31st has never been on
Never,
U.S. soldier?
right.
Oh, okay. All right, so there, your documentation shows you're hooked up with the 85th, and you're at Fort Riley, Kansas. Is that accurate?
When I left there, yeah, I came back, when I left in December of 51, I got home for Christmas, right after Christmas. And I was signed, when I landed, I think we landed, if I remember, in Seattle, I think. Now, don't quote me on that. Then I flew from there to Richmond and Virginia, and I was assigned to 2nd Army, Fort Meade, Maryland, for further reassignment.
Okay.
Okay, so we went back and forth, and when my leave time was up, I went back to Maryland. They assigned me to 5th Army in Chicago, Illinois. Stayed there for a few days. They signed me back to 2nd Army
Okay.
because they're looking for, I guess, what assigned me as the infantry MOS, you know.
Right.
So anyway, when I went back again to 5th Army, then from 5th Army in Chicago, Illinois, I was reassigned to Fort Riley, Kansas.
Okay.
But it took a while. Bernie didn't know what to do with me.
Well, if this makes you feel any better, I'm going to make one more comment about the Korean conflict. In speaking with Ray Velo,
Huh?
he's one of the authors that's helping me through this
Yeah.
love jump hump. And it's been such a snafu. He tells me, he says, things happen so fast, so quick, that oftentimes the infantryman, the low man on the totem pole,
Well, you don't know, right?
you don't know. It's the people
Especially
higher up
if
that know.
if you've been in the military for a while, and you're seasoned a little bit, you pick up things and you know more.
Right.
You follow me?
Right.
But if you're a young fella, just and hadn't been in that long, and bounce around, all you do is more or less what you're told to do, and
Pretty much point and
right,
click.
you really don't know what you're doing from day to day.
Right.
You just and you don't worry about it because everybody's around you, and you got your family, and
You do what you
the
gotta do.
military is your family, and so you look out for one another. So you really don't worry about much.
Well, and I apologize for having to spend so much time and effort on this front end.
Well, it's hard to fit. I don't even know it, so how the hell could you? You know,
Well, I've gotten closer.
Yeah, you are.
And-
You are.
and my expectations on
I
it
think
is
you're
that
closer than I am about it.
there's quite a few people that gave their full measure, and I don't want to get it wrong. That's my
No, we
biggest
want to
concern.
make sure that,
Well, we're going to have it peer reviewed. I'm going to have Colonel George Ranslow read through it, and I'm going to have Ray Below read through it.
that'd be nice.
And if they can confirm all this stuff, here's what I want to ask you. Not the whole book, but just this part of the Korean conflict. You actually kind of fill in a missing piece. E Company is like the least written about, historically documented company, as far as I can tell,
Right.
in anything involved in the Korean conflict of the 31st.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. E Company was a good company, and we had